No mai haere mai. It's the Huddy Hui. Find Huddy Sports on Instagram and Facebook. huddysports.co.nz. Now let's kōrero.
Kia ora, good evening and welcome to the Huddy Hui, episode 144. It's been a busy day here on Huddy Sports. We'll touch base later after our interview regarding the First of Dean traditional today against Wellington College and St. Pat's Town. But earlier this week I caught up with one of the local Hutt Valley and Wellington swimmers who's had some good results lately in the swimming pool. And he's a young man with a real promise, particularly in his chosen stroke of backstroke. Certainly one stroke in particular I did not enjoy when I was doing my competitive swimming days. But our guest on the Huddy Hui tonight is Daniel Williams. So sit back and enjoy this episode with Daniel. We're here with Daniel Williams. Who's off to the New Zealand Open this week. He's got some races we'll talk about very soon, but this young man has had a lot of success so far this season. And in particular, Daniel, many thanks for coming on the Huddy Hui. Let's talk about your recent success at the Australian Age Group Championships in Brisbane last month. How'd you go?
Yeah, not bad. Few top two placings, so it's pretty good.
In particular, one of those races you did pretty well, which was the 100-metre backstroke.
Yeah. Came out with a gold medal, so yeah, I was pretty proud of that.
And getting a gold medal against Australians, that must be a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Australia is like one of the best swimming countries in the world, so being able to win a medal over there is pretty brilliant. So yeah, really happy with that.
How competitive is the Australian Age Group Championship compared to national age groups in New Zealand?
Pretty competitive. It's what my coach says is probably one of the hardest competitions at an age group, like one of the hardest in the world, because Australia is one of the best swimming countries and it's super hard over there. It's, you got these little, well not little, but you got these younger kids over there who are just absolutely insane. They came over to New Zealand, it would be a whole different story. But yeah, I'd say it's a lot harder than it is in Australia than it is here. So it's quite a big difference.
And how is your training going so far? I hear you're building towards the New Zealand Nationals that starts this week. You're heading up to Auckland tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's been pretty good. I've been doing something what's called tapering down. So I've been pretty much just focusing on speed and power more than distance. So yeah, looking and feeling really strong. So yeah, can't wait to see how I go.
You mentioned tapering down. How is your training been going? In particular, what goes into what's called the tapering down before a swimming meet?
So tapering down is more like we go to the gym a little bit more, and we just head over to the pool, do a bit of land training where we just stretch and use these stretch cords and sort of just focus more on building more strength and pretty much just trying to become more powerful in the water where we can just absolutely just destroy the competition.
Exactly. Now, of course, what are your main events you're targeting this week at the Owen Glen Aquatic Centre, and what will the competition be like that you will have to face?
Well, my main one is the 100-meter backstroke. Obviously, Australia shows that's probably one of my best events. But competition is going to be quite hard. Obviously, it's the Open, so hopefully, if I make the final for that, the Open final, I'll be up against some of the best backstrokers in New Zealand. So it'll be a bit of a hard race, that one.
Now, as well as being in Australia back in April, you recently were in Malaysia swimming over there. What competitions did you attend there, and how were your results?
So I went over to the to Malaysia to compete in the Malaysian Opens, and it was actually really good. It was a whole new experience. Came I got a few medals. I came second in the 100-meter backstroke, and I came third in the 200-meter backstroke, and then a few second places in the relays. But yeah, I'm half Malaysian and half New Zealand, so sometime in the future I would want to represent Malaysia sometime in the future. So yeah, I went over to Malaysia to compete there, so that the Malaysian Association knows that they have a swimmer in New Zealand who's willing to compete for Malaysia sometime in the future. So yeah, it was a good experience. Really hot over there, so the um, whole different atmosphere. So yeah, it's quite challenging.
As you mentioned, challenging over there. How do you manage yourself preparing for swimming when you're on the road, particularly when you're outside of New Zealand in places like Malaysia?
Well, obviously, what I do is, I go over and have a few days before the competition, and just try and adapt to the atmosphere. Malaysia is a bit different because obviously it's a lot hotter over there, so I have to look at different ways to get my suit on and all that, because obviously we wear really tight suits for swimming. So um, to try and get those on, it's a bit of a hassle, especially in Malaysia when you're just sweating all the time. So it's a lot harder to put the togs on. So Dad was like, "How about we get some baby powder on and chuck that on, and hopefully gets on easier." So we did that. Somewhat, it worked quite well actually, but yeah, just it's hard to adapt to some sort of um, weather, especially in Malaysia. So yeah, it's a bit hard.
Certainly would be. Now let's go back to where it all started. At what age did you start swimming, and whereabouts?
I started swimming around 2 years old. I started doing swim lessons because I used to live in Malaysia. I was born there, so lived there for about 5 years. So I started swimming when I was two, and from there just kept going.
And when did you realise that swimming was going to be your sport of choice?
It's funny you say that. It wasn't really my choice in sport. Mum and dad just kept putting me in the team and all that. Every time I went to school, they put me in the school team. And then after my lessons, my swimming instructor said, if you want him to keep swimming, you can put him to a local club. So they did that. Didn't even talk to me about it. So yeah, from then on, I think I just fell in love with swimming through the amount of times mum and dad just put me in it.
Now you swim out of swim zone, which is ironically one of my old former clubs. I spent out there at Nine Pool. The years used to be called Watty Swim City back in the day. Watty's used to sponsor us.
Yeah. Yeah.
What has Swim
Yeah.
Zone done to support you in your swimming career?
Oh, just having such lovely people over there. Obviously, they're just always encouraging me, and supporting me. So yeah, they have a lovely team over there, and a lovely group of people. Yeah, they're always asking me how are you, and always keeping track of my swimming. And every single time I see them, oh, that was so good what you did in Australia. Well done, congratulations. So yeah, it's just the support they put into it is really really helpful.
And what has been the longest session that you've had outside the water when John Ross has given a talk?
Oh, the amount of times I remember one time he took us, and I probably went in the water for like 15 minutes, and that was it. It really, yeah, he talks for quite a while. Talks for a long time, especially the awards. Or you just hear him yapping, yapping, yap. Hopefully he doesn't see this.
Oh, he probably won't.
Yeah.
Now you swim out of Tananai Pool, or back when I was there, it was called Nanai Pool. How important?
Yeah.
How important is it to have a 50-meter covered pool back in the Hutt Valley?
Oh, it's amazing. Um, Obviously after it closed, we were swimming up at Stokes Valley, and there's only a 25-meter pool. And when it comes to swimming, you got the long course pools, like the Olympics. You know, how they swim in a 50-meter pool. So there are times where you have to train in a long course pool, and not having a long course pool is a lot harder. But with Nine Eye opened up and having more long course trainings and being able to build the fitness for a swim comp where it's going to be in a 50-meter pool, it's just so much better.
Was there times where you had to go into Wellington for 50-meter training during that time while Nine Eye was closed?
Yeah, there was a few times. Yeah, after last year, I definitely went up a few times and trained with the club up there because the Wellington Aquatic Centre doesn't allow coaches to coach unless they bought a lane, and buying a lane there is really hard. So you have to go up and train with a different club up there.
Yeah, I remember those days very well when they weren't allowed to coach on the sideline. I remember those very well.
Yeah.
Also out at Nine Eye Pool, I believe Lewis Clarebird and some New Zealand swimmers are there. Do you get to train with them at all and use that facility up in Upper Hutt called NZCIS?
Yeah, they came down for I think 2 weeks for an altitude training camp because they got like an altitude facility over there at the NZCIS. And one day my coach went up and asked if it was all good if I joined them for a week or two, and thankfully the coach over there said yeah, and so I joined up with them for a few sessions in the pool, and they asked me to come join them at the gym, and we went to the facility. It's an amazing facility, and yeah, it was really cool.
In particular, who's your current coaches at the moment for swimming, and who have you had over the years?
I've had Frank Terrell, who's my coach now, and then a few other coaches that left. Forgot their names, but over the years, yeah, I don't really forgot their names. Yeah.
Now, swimming can be a pretty lonely sport at times. What does a week of swimming look like for Daniel Williams? Is it 10 sessions a week like I used to do 20 odd years ago?
It's 9 sessions now.
Just one less.
2. Yeah, it's 2 on a Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday afternoon, and then Saturday morning.
Yep, that's good. And of course, what's it like? There's those training sessions are probably a bit different to back when I was doing it because I was a long distance swimmer. How's it different for you? So,
still pretty hard. I mean, Frank challenges me to a whole new level, but yeah, we do about 6 to 8 kilometers each training when we're like building up for a comp. So yeah, still pretty hard, still pretty challenging.
what's the hardest training session? Is it the threshold sets you have to do?
Yes, those are the worst. Oh, I hate those. Those are the worst ones. To do like 20, 100 meters, that's just the worst.
I remember those very well. Those ones that were hard work, in particular the heart rate as well. You had to do you still have to monitor the heart rate as well? Yep.
No, thankfully we don't, but some clubs do, and I was like, oh, I could not do that.
When you're not swimming in the water, what is some of the dry land that you do outside of swimming, and what does that look like?
Oh well, I go down to the local gym over here in Les Mills, and yeah, I just do a bit of just upper body, where it's doing bench, chest, bench. Oh my god, bench press. There we go. Jeepers, can't talk. Just bicep curls, just the normal gym workouts. And then when I'm out in the by the pool doing land training, I'll do a bit of stretching, just stretching out the quads, stretching out the legs, and do a bit of rolling with the roller, just trying to roll out the muscles, and then a bit of shoulder work because obviously backstroke uses a lot of your shoulders, so trying not to get an injury. But I've had a few shoulder injuries over the past few years, so trying to decrease that sort of, just trying to stop the pain from happening again.
Is backstroke your preferred stroke, and are there any other specialised strokes that you're good at as well?
Well, although as much as as good as I am at it, I don't really enjoy it very much. I'd say backstroke is one of the hardest events. So I do prefer like butterfly and all that. That's pretty fun. But yeah, I do all strokes. I do a bit of IM as well, which is individual medley. So yeah, I do a bit of that. I used to be really good at it, but just for opens, we're just focusing on the backstroke.
What is your 100-meter backstroke time in the long course pool?
Long course pool. Last year I did a 57:02. Yeah, so I was trying to chase for the junior Pan Packs. They
Yep.
go. They went over to I think they went over to Australia last year. But yeah, I was trying to chase for that, but I just missed out on the time by like 0.12. So hopefully this time, obviously I can't go to junior Pan Packs this year, but definitely gonna try and beat 57:02.
Well, that's definitely better than what I used to do. Backstroke was my least favourite, Daniel. And I'll tell you my time. The best I did a long course pool was 1 minute 05. So, so that definitely wasn't my cup of tea. Backstroke. Do you prefer swimming long course or short course events?
Short course, definitely
Yep.
short course events.
Why is that?
Oh, I mean, obviously you're in a 25-meter pool and you get more turns and you have to swim less pretty much. So it's a lot funner and it's a lot quicker as well. I enjoy the excitement of the 25-meter pools.
Last year, you were selected for the 2024 Tri Series squad. How was that experience?
Oh, it was cool. It was amazing. It was the first time representing New Zealand, and it was getting all the New Zealand swimming gear, which is really cool, and getting to meet people from around Australia, which was really cool, and competing against them as well, seeing how we are compared to them. It's a pretty good experience.
I've seen that you've recently been nominated for an award coming up at the New Zealand Swimming Awards on Finger this week. Do you know what that's for?
No clue. I only just found that out yesterday, and I had no idea
Yeah.
I was actually up for an award. So yeah.
No doubt you'll find out. So, of course, you attended Hutt Valley High School here in the Hutt Valley. How was your time there?
Oh, I'd probably say that was the best 5 years of my life. To be honest, I love school. I love seeing my friends there. And obviously, being out of school, life is a bit different. And obviously, I don't really enjoy it because obviously I don't get to see my mates as much because they're all at uni. So, but yeah, being at Harvard High School it was amazing. Especially last year, I was able to get the head boy position, which was I didn't see that coming, but it was amazing. And being able to, you know, be like helping out with the staff and all that, and seeing a school in a different way, it's pretty cool, and I really enjoyed it.
And what did you learn about being head boy, in particular around leadership?
Oh, a lot. Yeah, I just really just yet to you realize that I don't know why I said you realize. You don't really realize, but what I learned was that you want to be there for people and you want to be able to be a good role model. That's for sure. Just turning up to school and wearing good uniform and saying good day, saying hi to people, and you know just checking up on people that you really see their face lights up when you always get to see them and they get to see someone that they look up to. And so yes, definitely one thing I learned was definitely to approach people no matter how they're feeling, and just saying hi, because that could always mean something to someone.
Now, last year you had one of the honours of being one of the MCs at the College Sport Wellington Awards last year. How nervous were you, and what tips did Jason Pine give you when you were up there on the stage?
Well, I mean, I was trying to copy him. He did amazing. He spoke out so amazingly, and I was so nervous. There was a few times where I mucked up, and I really didn't like myself after that. I was like, oh mate, you did terrible. What were you doing? Why are you stuttering? And Jason Pine came and like, you did a good job. It's not easy doing that in front of 1,000 people. And yeah, it was a good opportunity. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, it's just bit of a didn't really enjoy it after it, but yeah, Jason Pine, he's a cool guy, and I enjoyed his presence. He was really cool. He was really nice. So yeah.
No, you did very well, particularly in front of thousands of people. It's always a tough job, that's for sure. Who's the toughest opponent you have swum against, and why?
Toughest opponent. One of my mates up in Auckland. His name is Blake Faliafa. The reason why he's the toughest because he's always edged me. Like he's always beaten me just by a little bit. I haven't beaten him before, and he's just always getting in the way. There's a few times last year I was ranked first for a few events in the finals, and I just couldn't get it because he kept pipping me for the medal. So yeah, there's a few times where he's pipped me by 0.01, 0.05. Yeah, it's just the little bits. He keeps getting me on it. So yeah, I'd say he's the toughest one.
What's the biggest learnings you've had from your swimming career?
Definitely discipline. Discipline is definitely it's a big thing. Obviously, for a sport where you gotta maintain your training and all that. Yeah, discipline is a huge thing that I've learned.
And who's been the biggest influence on your swimming career?
I'd say my dad and my coach, or family, but dad he's put so much support. He's paying for the club. He's paying for the flights over to Auckland. He's paying flights over to Malaysia and Australia. He's really putting so much effort into it. And, he's helping me out with this whole American scholarship stuff. And yeah, so I couldn't be where I am today without him. So I'm really thankful for what he's done for me, and obviously for Frank. He's ever since I started training under him, I've just become a better version of myself each time. He's taught me so many lessons in swimming and taught me so much new stuff where I never thought I'd actually learn. And yeah, here I am, over in Australia winning gold medals. And so yeah, he's taught me a lot of stuff, and I appreciate for what he's done for me.
You mentioned the USA. How's that going? And you're aiming for university over there?
Yeah, so obviously it's a big dream of mine to go to America because it's a whole new level over there. And I reckon if I was to train up there, there'll be a possibility of going to the Olympics someday. So yeah, big dream of mine, and it's been going pretty good. It's been going well. We've had a few universities come in contact, but yeah, I have an agent who's helping me out. Her name's Georgia Garden Bishop. The agency is called New Zealand Athletes, and so yeah, she just DM'd me one day and said, "Hey Daniel, we've seen your swimming and we'd like to help out." And so yeah, so she's been helping me out for the past few years, and it's going really well. So yeah, hopefully next year we'll be at in America.
Fantastic. That'll be awesome experience if you can. There's such a great opportunity there, and maybe to get to the Olympics as well. That would be even better. Now, New Zealand Open champs this week, your main race this week, and what day is that event on?
The 100-meter backstroke is on Friday.
On Friday. Oh, good. So we'll have to make sure we tune in for that. There'll be the heats and the finals the same day, no doubt. So.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Now, we've got to finish off because I want to see. I know I said I finished swimming 20 odd years ago. I want to see if you are better or probably are better in most things. What's your time for the 400 IM in long course pool? Do you know that off the top of the head?
I haven't done that in years. I think it's been about 5 years since I've done it. 4 or 5 years. But I can say it's at least a 5:16, 5:06. But that was when I was like probably 14 years old. Now it would probably, hopefully, under 5 minutes now. But yeah.
I think the best I got was in 2005. It was 4 minutes 47. That was courtesy of being, surviving backstroke, so that was probably all right. So, what's your 53 time?
53 is a 24. I'll be able to get 23. 3 when it opens, hopefully.
Yep, that's a whole 2 seconds faster than me, that's for sure. So, but yeah, I was never really good at sprinting. Breaststroke, pretty handy at breaststroke, 200 breaststroke.
200 breaststroke. I haven't done that one in a while either. I wouldn't know. I know my 100 breaststroke is like a 10, 108. Then I did that about last year or 2 years ago. So 200 breaststroke maybe.
Well, your 100 breaststroke's way faster than mine. So now the one race I used to do a lot, and most people thought I was mad, was the 1500 freestyle. Have you ever done the 1500?
No, I've never gone over 800. No. 1500. I'd always complain about the 1500. I'll be at the competition like, why are these people doing this? It's like it's not even. It's not right. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself?
I did that for a long time. No, you just stick to the short distances. That's what you're good at. So, but yeah, no, Daniel, it's been great having you on the Huddy Hui. We look forward to seeing how you go this week up at the New Zealand Champs up in Auckland, and we'll be keeping an eye on your progress for the rest of your swimming career. Go well and enjoy.
Sweet, thank you for having me. Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
So there's Daniel Williams. Of course, the New Zealand Open Championships started today, and his big race is on Friday by all accounts. So we'll be making sure we keep an eye on for him. We're going to preview the games very soon. We're just going to see if we can try and get our... hopefully he can hear us, if Jimmy has come through. Jimmy, are you there?
I am here, Brad, yes.
I've got you loud and clear, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Yeah, it was a great match this afternoon.
Certainly was. You definitely have a bias. You're a Wellington College old boy, and been associated with Wellington College. You couldn't actually get out to the game today. I imagine you watched the live stream. What was your thoughts on the victory for Wellington College today, which was an 18-13 win over St. Pat's Town?
Yeah, I thought it was a well-earned win by us. We just made those little mistakes that cost us and let St. Pat's Town back into the game, but we managed to get over the line through spirit from St. Pat's, and it's great to always beat your arch enemy.
Now, Jimmy, as well, you've had a busy Wednesday. You also were coaching a team tonight, from what I hear. How did you go?
So I'm just for the Wellington Girls College 15 team. We played Aotea. Unfortunately, we lost today. But a courageous effort from our lot.
Those of you who don't know Jimmy Lawler, he is an absolute legend. He's been around our sport for a long time, in particular long associated with the Wellington under-85 X-Men. You actually played a game that was, I saw that out at Eastbourne that day, Jimmy. That was a special occasion. But you're heavily involved. You've actually, since you got your Huddy Sports co-commentary debut, you turned into a media sensation on the Wellington Rugby Club Facebook group, from what I hear.
I didn't even realise it. But it's great to see. It's great to see that I've got some fans out there.
Exactly right. Now, of course, what we asked you on, Jimmy, tonight is we're going to preview this rounds of Swindale Shield action, round 8, and also the first round of the first 15 competition. We're going to kick off with the Swindale Shield. It's Saturday, round 8, and it really is heating up. The top 8 is starting to come together. But let's have a look at the first game of this weekend. Jimmy, is Northern United taking on Upper Hutt. This is 12 versus 7 on the table. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting clash, this one. It's one of those where it could go either way, or it could be a blowout, one way or another. But I expect. Who do I expect to win this one? I think Northern will beat Upper Hutt this weekend.
That's a big call on that one. Jimmy. Norths have had a few losses in a row. Upper Hutt, 2 losses in a row, actually. They lost to Tawa at home and then Porniki last week. I think Upper Hutt probably might sneak home. It'll be a tough one out there at Jerry Collins Stadium. So you're going North, so I'm going to go Upper Hutt. Next up is probably one of the games of the round. It's going to be the radio game on the Etufania Footy Show on Te Puka o Te Ika this weekend. It's Parramatta Plimerton versus Oriental Rongotai. Third on the table versus first. It's out at Ngāti Toa Domain. Oriental Rongotai unbeaten with a narrow win over Petone last week. How do you see this one playing out?
Oh, I mean, that's again. I think it's going to be either 5 or 6 points in it. I think it'll be a very, very tight one. You would expect Ori's to pull through, just because of their form currently at the moment. So I think unbeaten, is that right, Fred?
That is correct. Yep.
So I expect Ori's to win, but you just need to bring away from home. So I think Ori at least 5 or 6 points. I mean, either way, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that too as well. I think Ori's at home. If their forwards get going like they have been this season, they've been outstanding with the likes of Dominic Ropeti out there. They're going to be hard to beat. So I think out at Ngāti Toa, it's going to be Oriental Rongotai out there. Now, this has always been a real grudge match, this one, and it's out at William Jones Park in Wainuiomata. It's Wainuiomata taking on Porniki. It's Wainui's Old Timers Day as well. It's a cauldron out there at William Jones Park, and there's not much between these two sides. Wainui bounced back last week. They went down narrowly to Mara St. Pat's after getting 70 put on them by a destructive Petone, and Porniki coming off a good win on Old Timers Day last week against Upper Hutt. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean it's a mid-table clash, and I think again it could go either way. Porniki had a really good win last week, and then Wainui unfortunately lost the week before. But it is Old Timers Day. It could be a good one for them, especially on their home turf.
Exactly, and if Andrew Wells is fit and well, I think they will have a good chance here as well out there at William Jones Park. So I think Wainui might just sneak home in that one. I'm going to agree with you on that one there, Jimmy. Okay, next one here is a club you have had association with for a few years. You looked after the 85 team at the Wellington X-Men. This is their premier team. They've had 1 win under their belt this season. They beat Avalon 2 weekends ago. There was some cryptic scoring going on out there at Hutato Park last week against Parramatta Plimerton. When we were doing the radio game, it looked close, and the final score was apparently 38-0. But they're up against the on-fire Johnsonville Hawks. This is going to be a tough one for Wellington because the Hawks are on fire at the moment.
It will be, but I think from what I've heard from the Hutato club rooms is that the X-Men they're really building. Even though results haven't quite gone their way this year, they definitely put something there. And I really hope that their win against Avalon is not their only win. We do get a few more wins under our belt, but I think Johnsonville will probably be too strong. You never know. I think, again, there's games where Johnsonville will just have to turn up. Really, just not just have to turn up; they have to turn up and do the job. They can't take the X-Men lightly.
Exactly right. It could be tough out there. Hutato Park, when it gets a bit wet, is also quite a hard place to play. But I think Johnsonville will come up trumps there. They actually have quite a good road for the rest of the season in the Swindale Shield. Johnsonville, based on who they've got left, I think they've got a real good chance of probably being in the top 4. So we'll see how that one plays out. 2 more games to go in round 8. It is not Upper Hutt. The Hutto Boys Marist Eagles against the Avalon Wolves, the winless Avalon Wolves. They went down heavily last week against Johnsonville, and Hutt in a forward grinding game against Tawa last week. They really, they really hung on and got on the win there. It was a bit of an ugly game. But how do you see this one going out at the Hut Wreck?
Yeah, I mean, I think Huddy Hui will be too strong for Avalon. They're well coached by Otto Rash, who used to be one of the coaches of the first 15 last year. Now, was coaching Huddy Hui was Marist. But yeah, I still expect Huddy Hui was too strong for Avalon.
Yeah, I think so too. Hutt, they got a few injuries though. Harry Press is out with a bit of a shoulder niggle, and hopefully that's nothing too major because he's had a good season as Harry. He's been going pretty well. And I think they got some players back, but for Avalon, it's been a hard slog this season, and let's just hope that they can fight it out and hopefully maybe pick up a win for the rest of the season. Two more games. Sorry, I actually missed one, Jimmy. Oh, Jesus, Cardinal sin here. It is Tawa versus Marist St. Pat's. Both Marist had a good win over Wainui last week, 2-point win out there at William Jones. And Tawa, well, they'll be looking to bounce back after that loss to Hutt last week at home.
Yeah, well, it's an incredible log jam in the table here. Tawa on 21 points. And you got Marist 15. So I think if Tawa higher in the table, that they really have to win this one, and so do Marist. If they want to pressure on those top teams, then it's a must-win game for Marist. But I think being at home in Tawa, I think Tawa just.
Yeah, and I think that game as well is going to be a big forward battle as well, and whoever wins it will be played in the forwards, and I think Tawa might just have enough there in that department. And of course, the last game of the Swindale Shield, it's actually the game we're doing on Huddy Sports this Saturday out at Batoni Rec, is Batoni taking on Old Boys University, who finally, Jimmy, got their first win of the season, 6 losses in a row, and then they beat Norths last week. They'll still be without the likes of Louis Calvert, Gareth Ward-Allen and Mitch McLeod, who are with the New Zealand universities. Batoni, a narrow loss to Oris last week at home. They've been going pretty well at home this year, have the Villagers. How do you see this one out? Do you see that you think the Villagers will get over the line with another good win, or do you think the Students are on the way back?
Oh, it's real differencing over you at the bottom end of the table. For so many years, we've willing to be at the top, but I expect Batoni to win. Just because they are at home, and I think with them wanting to hopefully finishing top. I mean, they've still got a little bit. Well, I think Batoni should win there.
Yeah, Batoni at home, I think, will be too strong, and they seem to have some good form going at the moment. It's good to see TJ Clark playing for them. He's only just come back from injury while being with the Hurricane squad, so that will be good to see indeed. So that is the Swindale Shield this week for our preview. Now, of course, it's a little bit extended on our preview, as the first 15 rugby is underway. It kicked off today, as we've already talked about. Jimmy's over the moon. They've got the Centennial Shield again over St. Pat's Town, 18 points to 13. We've got some new teams in the top competition this year, Jimmy, that could really make things a little bit interesting. First up, WRFU College have joined Wellington this year. They've spent nearly a decade in the Central North Island competition. Now, that competition used to go as far as South Auckland with Wesley College down to WRFU in the Wairarapa, but WRFU decided the cost was too much and they joined the Capital City competition. They had to go through qualifying and they got through pretty easily, and they're up against Rongotai College, who just snuck in over Tawa last week to make the premiership. Your thoughts on this one out there at WRFU College in the wire out of Marston?
I mean, it's great. It's great to see WRFU back in Prem 1. Sorry, breaking up there a little bit.
That's right.
But you know, WRFU. Yeah, it's great to see them in Prem 1. I think, have they been in Prem 1 a long time ago?
Oh, good question. I can't actually tell you, Jimmy, but they've been in the CNI for well over just under a decade, so that's all I know.
Yeah. But I think I expect Rongotai to beat RFQ. They should win, but you never know because it's up in the Wairarapa. But yeah, Rongotai I think by about 10 points. I think.
Yeah, Rongotai, they've got a good chance. It's going to be tough going over the hill. I'm going to go RFQ on that one. I think what RFQ showed in the pre-season and in qualifying when they put a big win on St Bernard's in their qualifying game. I think they'll be a bit too competitive there for Rongotai, so I'm going to go Rongotai on that one. Next up is St Pat's Silverstream against their Upper Hutt rivals. And this one, got their one wrong. Wairarapa Bush, another one from over the hill, but they're coming the other way. Unfortunately, I haven't got a Wairarapa College logo. I don't know, it's disappeared off my graphics card, so we have to try and retrieve where that's gone. But Silverstream at home against Wairarapa College. How do you see this game, Jimmy?
Sorry, what game? You're breaking up there, Brad.
Oh, are you breaking up? Okay, so it's Silverstream and Wairarapa College.
Oh, yep. So Silverstream and Wairarapa. Yeah, I mean it's a very young Silverstream first team this year. I'm not exactly sure what the Wairarapa team is like, but I still expect, being at Silverstream, I think Silverstream should win by a comfortable margin.
Yes, I agree with you on that one. Silverstream should win pretty comfortably. Wairarapa had a grading game against, a pre-season game against RFQ, and they went down in that game. But having to come over the hill to play Silverstream will be tough. Also in Upper Hutt, it is Hutt International Boys School playing host to St Bernard's. Hibs have been going pretty well for the last few years, and the Premiership, Jimmy, they're up against St Bernard's, who snuck in with a win over Mana. I'm going Hibs on this one. I think they'll be too strong at home.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think Hibs should be way too strong for St Bernard's, even though St Bernard's got a last minute win last week. But yeah, Hibs have been building really well over the last term. I think trip to Japan, from what I heard, as well. But I expect Hibs to beat St Bernard's comfortably.
And of course, the last one to close out the round is Tawa actually are in Premier 1, despite the fact they lost to Rongotai last week. Hutt Valley High School did make Premier 1, but have dropped down due to player availability issues. So Tawa are back into the Premiership. So it's good to see a team out from out the east there, out in Pairua. But it's Tawa at home against Scots College. Scots this season are very light in depth and players. They played Napier today at home and lost 97-7, Jimmy. Tawa's fields are pretty tough to play at. They're quite heavy at this time of the year. Could we see Tawa beating Scots? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just historic form, you would expect Scots to win this game comfortably, but they haven't had the greatest of pre-seasons, I think, with the results not going their way. But it's funny, you can never count out Scots. In all the games, and you can't take them lightly at all. So I think on that, I think Tawa will be looking at that and going, yeah, this is the game that we could actually create some history here and win.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think Tawa by 2 or 3 points, I reckon.
Yeah, it's going to be super close there. I'm going to go, within 5. I think Tawa should just sneak home. I think it will probably be a game that will be decided within the last 5 minutes. So that is our preview tonight on the Huddy Hui. Jimmy, many thanks for coming on, and no doubt we'll have you on the Huddy Hui again sometime this year, and probably a few Wellington College games, as long as your Wellington College team isn't playing. What Wellington College team are you coaching again?
So I'm coaching two teams. So I'm coaching the mighty under 65 black team, and I'm also coaching the mighty 415 as well. Funny enough, they're playing both at the same time on Saturday. both at the same venue as well. So it's going to be interesting.
Just stand in between the middle of the field and coach both.
Absolutely.
Well, Jimmy, I'm going to let you go. Have a good rest of your evening, and we will see you around. Many thanks. Take care.
You too, Brad. Have a good rest of your night.
You too. That is Jimmy Lawler. He is a mainstay out there at Wellington College, a real legend of that part of the world. He's such a loyal man. He gives so much to rugby. Those are the type of people that you need in grassroots rugby here in the capital city and around New Zealand as well. You know, we need people. And also the other thing too is we need more referees as well. We've had some games, particularly in Wellington, where they haven't been able to go ahead because there hasn't been any referees. I believe the Petone Brotherhood a few weeks ago, their game couldn't go ahead because they didn't have a referee. So if you are looking to referee, ring up 0800 referee. It's a good thing. It's the one of they call the best seat in the house, the 31st man as they call it. So give it a go. We need referees here. I used to be one until my body fell apart. But they've referees here. They definitely need help around it, whether it's here in Wellington or around New Zealand. Pick up the whistle and give it a go. Well, next week on the Huddy Hui, we have already got our guest sorted out, and he'll be probably nursing himself after a tough game today, Wednesday, episode 144 next Wednesday, the 28th of May at 7 p.m. is the talented first five. Archie Sims will be joining the Huddy Hui next Wednesday, so make sure you tune in for that. That will be an absolute great episode to catch up on one of the rising stars of First 15 and rugby here in the capital city, and we'll get to see how the season has gone so far for Wellington College. And it's going to be another busy week as well. This week we've got Petone Over You this Saturday on Huddy Sports YouTube. 2:45 kickoff. Our coverage will start at 2:30, and then we're back at it again next week as well. We've got a few more events lined up. So that has been the Huddy Hui for tonight. Have a safe rest of your evening and the week, and tune in on Saturday for Petone versus Old Boys University. I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.
It's the Huddy Hui. You can find Huddy Sports on Instagram and Facebook, and check out huddysports.co.nz.
Here on Huddy Sports, we'd like to thank our sponsors that have always been grateful to our causes here on Huddy Sports. Our first sponsor, Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. If you need any drain laying or plumbing assistance, give Mike Pinfold a call on 027 430 4351 or Pinfold Plumbing at extra.co.nz. Louise Reddy of New Zealand Travel Brokers. If you need any travel advice, she's local here in the Hutt Valley in Petone. Call 021 135 3076. Louise Reddy, Louise.Reddy at nztravelbrokers.co.nz. And also to Gavin Murphy and the team at Jen Hickton Funeral Directors. They've been serving Wellington families of their funeral directing services since 1946. So go to jenhickton.co.nz. They're all local people here in the Hutt Valley and Wellington that service our greater community. We also like to thank Ben Belusnik Visual Designs that helps with the graphics here on Huddy Sports. As here on Huddy Sports, we're always wanting to keep our content free on YouTube. So the idea of sponsors, we can promote you on live stream, our social media pages and our website. It's good to support the local community and helps keep Huddy Sport free for all to watch. So if you're interested to helping Huddy Sports, go to huddysports.co.nz or to our email address, huddysportsnz@gmail.com.